Hello, and welcome to Speak Honest. I am your host and certified relationship coach, Jennifer Noble. It has been my passion for over a decade to help women like you heal what's been holding you back from having the relationships you deserve. Are you struggling with a relationship where you can't seem to voice your emotions, needs, and boundaries without having it blow up in your face? Then you have found the right podcast, my friend. Get ready for practical tips, empowering truths, and honest conversations. Now, let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Speak Honest. Today, I wanted to dive into a fascinating and powerful technique called somatic processing. So in last week's episode, I actually took my client Kim through a somatic experience. I wanted her to understand what it was like to try to stop her trigger in the moment when it's happening. So sometimes when our logical brain can't really get us out of that moment and we're just so frustrated or so angry, or we want to throw that coffee cup, or we want to punch a wall, or we just want to scream at our children or yell at our partner, doing a somatic process is one of the best ways I have found to just slowly come out of that trigger so then I can use my conscious brain. So if you have ever felt overwhelmed by your emotions or you've struggled to manage your intense feelings, this episode is going to be great for you. We're going to explore first the history of somatic processing. Then we're going to get into why it works and how you can start practicing it in your daily life. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to come and join our free Facebook group. It's for women like you who want to heal what's been holding you back. And so if you're having relationship issues or you don't understand how to communicate to your partner, this is a great opportunity to join our Facebook group. I can't wait to see you over there. Now let's get on with the episode. So first, let's start with a bit of the history. Somatic processing, which is also known as somatic experiencing, was first developed by Dr. Peter Levine. Dr. Levine is a pioneering psychologist who began researching the effects of trauma on the body all the way back in the 1970s. And he discovered that trauma isn't just a psychological experience, but also a physiological one, or in other words, a physical one. It's actually happening to your body. Our bodies can hold on to traumatic experiences, causing us to feel stuck or overwhelmed by emotions long after the event has happened. And so Dr. Levine's work was inspired by observing animals in the wild. He noticed that unlike humans, animals rarely get traumatized. Interesting, right? They experience threats, but they also have natural mechanisms to release the stress from their bodies. So think about how a deer shakes after escaping a predator. This physical release helps them to return to a calm state. Whereas on the other hand, humans, they don't allow themselves to complete this natural process. So why does somatic processing work? Well, at its core, somatic processing helps us reconnect with our own bodies. So when we experience trauma or intense emotions, in those moments when your partner says something to you that sounds incredibly critical and you just want to lash out, our natural response is either to lash out, to disconnect, or to numb, just to protect ourselves and also, honestly, our loved ones. Because we don't want to throw the remote control at our husband's face when he's pissing us off, do we? No. So what do we do instead? We numb out. Maybe we reach for that extra cupcake or that extra glass of wine, and we tell ourselves it's fine, we'll just do it this one time. But this disconnection can lead to unresolved feelings and chronic stress. Somatic processing works by bringing awareness to the physical sensations in our bodies. By doing so, we can start to process and release the stored trauma or emotions that are in our body. This method helps us feel more grounded. It helps us be present and in control of our reactions. It's a way to gently and safely work through difficult experiences without becoming overwhelmed. But now I want to talk about how to actually do a somatic processing. So here are some simple steps that you can follow to get started. So first, I want you to find a quiet space. Find a place that's quiet and comfortable where you won't be disturbed. So this could be in your room, in your home somewhere, or maybe just like a peaceful outside space at the park, or even just a cozy corner. And then I want you to tune into your body. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Begin to tune into your body and notice any sensations you feel. You might feel tightness, warmth, tingling, or even numbness. Notice where your feet are touching the ground. Maybe they're tucked up inside of your lap, or maybe they're hitting the floor. Maybe your hands are resting lightly on your lap or rubbing your armchair. There's no right or wrong sensation here. I just want you to start at the top of your head and work your way down and see what you feel. Do you have a headache? Are your eyes heavy? Does your nose twitch? Are you a little bit hungry? Maybe your stomach hurts or your knee is throbbing. That's okay. I just want you to notice what's there. But now I want you to focus on one sensation. Just choose one and just pick that one to focus on. It could be a feeling in your chest, maybe the heaviness behind your eyes, maybe a tightness in your stomach, or a burning sensation in your hands. Any area that stands out to you. Allow yourself to fully experience this sensation without any judgment or any shame. It's just there. Next, I want you to describe the sensation. So try to describe this feeling in as much detail as possible. You can do this externally or just internally in your mind. But is this heavy or light? Does the feeling have a color or a texture? Maybe the burning sensation in your hands is red hot flames and they're moving all over the place. Or maybe the tightness in your chest is like a block of ice that won't move. I want you to really use your imagination here and visualize what is going on with these sensations. Maybe there's a boulder on your head or your shoulders. Maybe there is a choking on your neck. All of these sensations I want you to describe. Next, I want you to visualize releasing these sensations. So imagine a soothing image or scenario that helps to release the sensation. So for example, you might picture if your hands are on fire. This is one that I used to do a lot. When I get very angry, I feel this weird tingling sensation happening in my hands. And so when I would do this somatic process, I started visualizing them as fire. But then the way in order to release this is what I did was I pictured myself putting my hands under a waterfall. And that waterfall started making the fire on my hands go away. I could see the steam coming up and it was a beautiful experience. So what is it for you? What visual release can you use to rid yourself of the sensation? So you could have the water washing away the fire. Maybe if you have knots in your stomach, you can visualize cutting those knots away or gently untying them. One of the ones I really loved recently that we did was she felt a heat in her chest. And we pictured that it would snow in her chest and it would ease the heat and the burning behind her sternum. And the best way to do this is to find something that makes you happy. So for me, it was a waterfall. For her, she loves snow. Find the opposite of the sensation you're looking for. Think of something that makes you feel happy and good and safe. And allow this visualization to bring a sense of relief and calm to the situation. And next, I want you to take your time. There is no rush when we are doing a somatic experience. Take as much time as you need to fully experience and release these sensations. You might find the sensations shift. You might find that they feel a little bit different. And you might find that as you focus on them, they might actually go away pretty quickly and maybe you want to move to something else. That's okay too. Whatever is right for you is how you will take care of this. Now, after you're finished, I just want you to take a moment to reflect on this experience. How do you feel now compared to how you started? What did you notice about your body's response? And how do you think you'll feel moving forward? Just as a reminder, the somatic processing tool is not something that's going to heal you or make you better, or you're never going to have to dig into the hard parts. This is for those moments when we are so triggered that we are shaking. That moment we get that phone call that we don't want to have to deal with, or the moment our mom comes through the door and she's pissed us off one too many times and we don't know how we're going to handle her. Or you know that you got a phone call from the school because your kid did something terrible and you don't know how to have this conversation with the principal. Well, now you know you can take some time, do a somatic processing, and calm your body down before you start the conversation. Somatic processing is a powerful tool for managing our emotions and healing from past experiences. It helps us to reconnect with our bodies and honor the sensations that arise, leading to a greater sense of peace and well-being. Doesn't it feel so much better to honor our anger when it comes up, or to honor our sadness when it overwhelms us, instead of shaming it, instead of saying we're weak or we're too much or we're a burden? No, we don't have to be that way anymore. Because remember, it's important to be gentle with yourself during this process. Healing takes time. And every step you take towards understanding and loving yourself, it is a victory every single time. So thank you so much for joining me in this short episode this week at Speak Honest. If you found this helpful, please share it with other people who might benefit from the somatic processing. I would also love it if you could rate and review the podcast. It just helps other people to get it out there. And I'm still really looking to get a couple more of those reviews for the summer. It's one of my goals, and it would mean so much to me if you reviewed the podcast. And as always, if you have any questions or you want to continue this conversation, join our free Facebook community for more support and more insights. Until next time, take care. As we wrap up today's conversation, always remember that healing is a journey, not a destination. And it is an honor to be a part of your healing journey. If you want to dig deeper into the topics we covered today, be sure to head over to our show notes, where you can find all of the valuable information mentioned in today's episode right there. And please remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's podcast. Your feedback means the world to us and helps others discover our podcast. Until next time, remember to speak up and speak honest.